Chain Soldier is why I don't drop manga. I didn't like it at all. Senseless fan service, a barely there plot, questionable art, and lack of any distinctive aesthetic or character design. Mato Seihei no Slave read like a poor retread of harem battle shonen that is well below the expected output from its famed creator. And you know what? It was all of those things for quite some time. I saw nuggets through the earlier chapters that kept me interested, but almost every release, I felt more and more disappointed, even disgusted at what I was reading. The only characters that I had come to care about were Yuki and Koyuka. After chapter 60, I enjoyed the emergence of Tenka as a serious threat to being the third in a possible love triangle, and Ren Yamashiro's introduction had a game-changing impact that greatly benefited the series. Around chapter 70, Takehiro did a full 180. Battle of Yokohama was a sensational arc that saw an improvement across the board. All of the sudden, multiple supporting characters actually mattered, and even the throwaway villains were more enjoyable than previous installments. Asuka's dynamic introduction in episode 8 of Evangelion is one of the greatest moments in anime history, and I can't help but feel that Takehiro took some inspiration from that impact and applied it to the Battle of Yokohama. I was hooked on this manga from that point on, and since then, I haven't been disappointed. I have some more thoughts about Takehiro's shaky writing and the over-reliance on fan service without committing. We'll get to that. As I was saying, the character development has skyrocketed in Chain Soldier. Ren Yamashiro is exceptionally well written. Estheth and Akame are my favorite characters from Takehiro's previous series, Akame ga Kill. In Mato Seihei, Ren is written in a similar vein as them, but given a lot more room to stretch. She's touted as being the strongest in the series so far. That's absolutely true, by a country mile. Every battle, she showcases a new element of her abilities, and also more of her personality and ambition. Yes, she is a flying brick, but she's a sexy flying brick. When the unit members enter Shangri-La for some training, basically the hyperbolic time chamber, the series also starts developing the supporting cast members at the same rate. The training montages in Chain Soldier were always fun, I enjoyed them, but here Takehiro utilizes them to the point where, yes, it is downtime, but it's a good moment to develop the characters. The dialogue during the training montages is also a lot more tight, quippy, and engaging than it has ever been. There's plenty more rewards as well, so you're not going to lose interest along the way. It seems like Takehiro took all of the criticisms of his past work and addresses them head on in Chain Soldier from chapter 100 going forward. There's a moment when Belle, one of the supporting characters, is bitching about how useless she is. And yeah, she is pretty useless. She's basically just fan service and fodder to be ambushed by a bad guy. But it's still really nice to see how animated she is when she's confessing her insecurities to the others, and seeing her coworkers support her and encourage her really put a smile on my face. It was written super well and didn't detract from the story at all, even though there was no real action involved. That being said, the artwork is still a problem for me. Same face syndrome is ever present here. In fact, it's a lot worse than before, because now characters are making the same expression as one another within the same panel. Even when an assortment of new characters are introduced in the form of the 8th unit and new enemy gods come to attack our heroes, they all look the same. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. We have some black girls in this series now. Yeah, there's like 2 of them or something. And you know what? I'm actually very grateful that the artist isn't able to differentiate in this case. Yeah, in this case, it's totally fine to have same face syndrome. Real shit though, they're baddies, so thank you Takemura for bringing them into the series. I just wish that Takehiro would focus on the cast that he already has instead of continuously adding women that all look the same. Fuck, I don't know man, can you like intro at least one other dude This way we can have some sort of like tension and drama between the rest of the cast. And I don't know, maybe add a Netorase tag once and for all. The story really isn't going anywhere though. I have seen more risque rewards lately, but I do think that these characters need to fuck. It's been 5 years and 15 volumes. Yuki can't even get some dome at this point. He eats out Himari in one chapter, so I guess that's progress, but this is still a problem that I have with this series and harem manga in general. When you have a series that promotes casual encounters, it's okay for your characters to have casual sex. I know it seems like a wild thing to do, but you can have sex in a manga and it still be ecchi without it becoming a hentai. And I think Takahiro has that ability because he's covered sex in the past. But why it doesn't happen in Chain Soldier confuses me. This manga had an opportunity to be darker than Akame ga Kill, and instead it feels like a retreat in the maturity aspect. And I wasn't even kidding about adding an extra male character. There needs to be some form of tension at this point because there's like, I don't know, 16 girls in this manga that just rotate in and out, and all of them are doing stuff with Takahiro, but they're never moving past third base. Like, not all of the girls are even doing like really ecchi shit. Some of them are just stretching, some of them are going on dates, or maybe it just ends off with a kiss. Kissing in this manga is fantastic. It looks great, it does what it's supposed to do, but I don't need to see any more kissing panels. I don't want to see Takahiro be the goody two-shoes but never do anything more than grope. These are all mature characters. These are all mature-looking characters. I think Takahiro should take that commitment and push the story along by having Yuki finally decide amongst this harem which 3 or 4 girls here do I actually like. Koyuka likes him, so how come we're not seeing her respond negatively when anyone else gets more intimate with Yuki than she has had a chance to with him? I will say, there was a tentacle scene in chapter 117 that really threw me off. I haven't seen tentacles in anime in quite some time. Does Gen Z even know about how that shit scarred us? I don't like the secondary harem aspect that's been added to the manga though. As I've mentioned, there are way too many characters. Some cast members should be allowed to die off. For all of my complaints, I think Takahiro has really come into his own with Mato Seihei no Slave. It's a fun series that starts off very rough, but smooths out over time. The action is stellar, the power system easy to understand and suspend belief, and the women are always great to look at. If you're really into fan service, battle shonen, witty dialogue, then you'll like Chain Soldier. At this point, yes, I would recommend the manga. The anime is starting next month, and I hope they do something about the pace. This is a promising series that rewards patience to the reader. I don't know if I would recommend this to newer anime or manga fans, but for dyed-in-the-wool veteran otaku, yeah. This is a decent shonen. 6 out of 10.